Welcome to Reddit Tea Time. Am I the bonehead for telling my sister, "Don't dish it if you can't take it"? I, 25 female, am home for the holidays. So I'm seeing my sister Ella, 18, and brother Finn, 17, for the first time in months. To put it simply, Ella tortures Finn. Finn can't open his mouth around her without her getting angry. She makes fun of his hair. He wears it long. His clothes, his hobbies, his friends. For example, I mentioned I was thinking of taking on extra work. Finn said, "That's a good idea because my rent has gone up." Ella responded, "Since when do you have a finance degree?" Even if, frankly, he was right. He tripped up the stairs last night. She told him to stop pretending to be drunk. He was drinking with his friends downstairs. Ella seems to think it's all a joke, but it upsets Finn. Finn asked if we wanted to watch a movie tonight and suggested one he likes. Ella responded, "Not everything is about you." Finn wore a t-shirt of a band he likes. Ella complained he doesn't even listen to them. And on it went. Yesterday, we went to a little coffee place. The usual joke arguments happened all the way there. The trouble started when Finn accidentally knocked the table and Ella exploded saying, "There's hot drinks on this table. Would you be careful?" And then yelling some more when Finn said it was an accident. I tried to defuse it and told Ella to stop. She replied, "You need to learn to take a joke." When I told her she was taking it too far, Ella kept on complaining. She gave us the silent treatment even when Finn asked about her plans, and when she gave a blunt answer, turned to me and said, "Sorry, did I take that too far again?" I told her yes, and she started yelling at us again about how we gang up on her. We don't. Here's the issue. During the commotion, Finn made a remark about Ella's friends. I didn't hear this, but Ella was very upset and Finn admitted he said it. Last year, some really bad shit went down between Ella and her friends that really upset her, so he touched a nerve, knowingly or unknowingly. And I was sympathetic, as from what I saw happened, it was bad and it messed her up. And Finn apologized. But I was on Finn's side because Ella had ripped into him non-stop. So Ella was yelling at Finn and our mom was telling the both of them to make up. I stepped in remembering all the crap Ella pulled and said, "Ella shouldn't dish it if she can't take it." And yes, it was harsh and I shouldn't have said it. But I felt like someone needed to put Ella in her place, because all she did until then was whine about me babying Finn and Finn's inability to take a joke. Ella stormed off crying. My mom told me it wasn't my place to tell her as I'm only seeing part of what's going on. Apparently they've been at each other since she got back. And maybe that's true, but all I see, even before I moved out, was her antagonizing him and him giving her more grace than she deserved. Now Ella is not talking to me. My mom is insisting I stay out of it and we all make up for Christmas. So am I the bonehead? Now for some Reddit comments. Not the bonehead. Honestly, your sister sounds like a brat and your parents have failed to stand up for Finn. This whole "it's not your business to stand up for people when injustices happen" has gotten old on Reddit. Not the bonehead, because frankly you're right and she needs to hear some harsh truth from someone. She apparently feels free to be a total jerk to Finn and hide behind the classic bully excuse of "I'm just joking." No, jokes are funny, being a jerk is not. Your mom is the bonehead in this situation. She let it get out of control. It sounds like your sister treated her friends like she does Finn now doesn't have any. Am I the bonehead for canceling my aunt's invitation to my wedding when she traveled the world to attend it? My husband and I, 26 female, got married 3 weeks ago. My husband is from South Africa, but I am French. Our wedding in the savannah in South Africa was a huge trip for the 13 French guests. We rented a beautiful lodge where you see lions, elephants, etc. And to thank everyone for coming all this way, we rented it for 2 days. Day 1, wedding. Day 2, pool party. We only invited 30 people, the people we love. I had a huge argument with my aunt. 38 female, 8 years ago, and we cut ties ever since. But doing the invitations, I thought about how close we used to be. I decided to invite her. There was no +1 for anyone, and so I only invited my aunt. Not her partner or her kids, since I barely knew their names. My aunt said she was happy, but insisted that we invite them. I told her no, but my mom teamed with her and pressured me a lot during the year. I explained that the ceremony meant everything to us, and that we only want people we love to be present. But my aunt booked flights for her, but also for her family. She said it was a family trip, but added that she heard some of my guests canceled, and so that there is now space for her family. I told her that it would not be happening, but that her family could join us for the pool party the next day. After that, I got even more pressured by my mom into inviting them for the wedding itself because they are coming all this way. But I kept refusing and tried to finish my dress without my mom. On the big day after the ceremony, my husband and I left for an hour in the savannah with the photographers to make a few photos. As soon as we came back to the lodge, my aunt came to me smirking. She was holding her kid. Her partner was behind her. I'm not the scandal type. I didn't know how to react. In my disbelief, I kissed the kid hello and shook hands with her partner. I immediately felt sad for not defending myself. I then heard my mom and grandma telling my aunt about the extra chairs and food we had, and that her family must stay for dinner. My sister lied for me, saying we don't have enough chairs because some are broken. So my aunt announced that they were leaving. I asked why she was leaving with them. She was supposed to stay for the dinner and they are only 5 minutes away. She replied that she never intended to stay for dinner, but that she will spend time with us when they come back tomorrow for the pool party day. I was shocked. I replied that I had a change of plans and that she and her family could not come for the next day anymore. My mom, usually lovely, lost it and told me that I had no right to cancel my aunt's invitation to the pool party. I reminded her that we paid for the whole wedding ourselves and that she has no say in who I host, and I walked away. But she yelled at my back in front of everyone. She was screaming that the conversation was not over and that I better come back. My sister had to physically bar my mom from running after me. I still stood my ground and kept my aunt from coming back the next day. Am I the bonehead? Now for some Reddit comments. Not the bonehead. Based on the title, I thought, wow, that sounds terrible. But reading the context, your actions make sense. And that's what your aunt and mom counted on. They carefully planned to make you look like the villain when you just asked your aunt to do what every other guest did. Not the bonehead. There was absolutely no reason that the child and partner could not have stayed at the hotel or lodge while aunt was at the wedding and dinner. Your aunt and her lovely sister, your mother, who didn't pay for anything associated with the wedding, were out of line. Kudos to your sister for having your back. Best wishes for a happy marriage. Everyone sucks here. This is petty. France to South Africa is a trek your aunt perhaps didn't want to make alone. It's wild to me when people have really difficult wedding locations and don't seem to appreciate the effort, time, and expense it takes for guests to attend. Of course your aunt wasn't polite here. She asked. You said no. That should have been that. It's an awkward situation. Everyone was inflexible and everyone sucks here. Am I the bonehead for not going to the wedding of my dad and his affair partner? When I was 17, my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer. 2 years later, she passed away. During these 2 years, my dad was not around much. He was always working and going on business trips. My aunt and grandma took care of mom. About 5 months after my mother's passing, my dad introduced me to his new girlfriend. I was pissed. I yelled at him about how quickly he moved on from mom when they decided to tell me they had been in a relationship for 3 years. My dad had been cheating on my mom while she was dying. His business trips were to meet his affair partner. I was so angry I packed my stuff and left his house. I haven't spoken to him since that day. Currently, I am 25. The only family I speak to is an aunt who helped me when I left my dad's house. A few days ago, my aunt called me, asked me how I was, and then asked me if I heard from Dad. I said, why would I hear from him again? My aunt said Dad is getting married to his affair partner, and by going to his wedding it would help us mend our relationship. I said, why would I do that? He is dead to me. There was a silence on the phone for a bit before my dad replied, asking if that was what I felt about him. I immediately cut the call when I heard his voice. I realized he was with my aunt when she made the call to me. I texted my aunt telling her not to tell Dad anything about me, and she agreed back then. She texted me back saying I was a bonehead for saying what I said, and my dad is crushed hearing that, and that I should have moved on by now. I did not want to argue with someone who helped me, so I blocked her. Over the next 2 days, I got sent a wedding invitation to my mailbox. The only person in the family who knew my address was my aunt, and she gave my number to various members of the family. I am being bombarded with calls and texts from Dad, uncles, cousins, aunts saying I should give him a chance and come to the wedding. Some calling me names for saying what I said. I got a text from the affair partner saying my dad is thinking of postponing the wedding and I should just talk to him. For context, the affair partner was a friend of my mom and knew she had cancer. I said it's not my fault if he postpones the wedding. I don't want to have a relationship with Dad or her. They are trying to force it. It got quiet after that, but being told by so many people from my dad's side that I'm a bonehead did leave me conflicted, but I am sticking to my guns. So, am I the bonehead? Now, for the update. Hello. First, I want to thank all who commented on the first post and all who messaged me. It really helped me stick with my decision to not go to the wedding. I wanted to update earlier, but it's been pretty hectic with work. So after the many texts and calls from multiple family members, I sent a text to all the numbers detailing what Dad did and why I choose to be no contact with him. I then blocked all the numbers. I have changed my number but kept the old number in a separate phone to collect evidence if they start to harass me from random numbers. But luckily nothing happened, and I thought that was that. A week or so after that, my aunt's fiancé came to my apartment. He knows what time I get off work and was waiting for me in the parking lot. I was apprehensive, but he assured me he only wanted to talk. And according to him, the text I sent has caused a shitstorm in that family. He told me that some of the cousins who did not know what happened in the past started to question Dad and affair partner, and they started to get defensive and deny it, but someone revealed that it was true. This has caused a massive argument within the family, with some cousins pulling out of the wedding. Dad wanted to postpone the wedding so he can talk to me, but the affair partner threatened to leave him if he did that. The news of what Dad and affair partner did also reached some of their friends, who were at one point friends of my mom as well. Some of them have also pulled out of the wedding, and this caused the affair partner to have a breakdown and started banning anyone who brings it up, family members included, from the wedding. According to Aunt's fiancé, she is blaming this all on me, says I did this intentionally. I laughed at that. The wedding is still somehow happening. I asked him about my aunt and how all this started, and he said all he knows is that there was a conversation of how bad the family would look if I wasn't at the wedding, and that my aunt offered to call me. He said that he disagreed, but she did it anyway. He said that he is only here because he felt I needed to know what happened. I thanked him but said I will be going completely no contact with her, and by extension him as well. He agreed, wished me well, and left. I am not going to lie and say I am completely okay. I miss my aunt. I miss my mom. But I know what I did was the right thing. I'm currently staying with my girlfriend, and she has been cheering me up by coming up with absurd ways to ruin the wedding. As a lot of you said, I should try therapy, and I am going to take that advice. Some of the comments have made me realize that I have bottled up a lot of grief and anger. I am super nervous about it, but I also feel it'll do me good. So once again, thank you for all your comments and advice. Ciao. Now for some Reddit comments. Not the bonehead. I can't think of anything that has been more effective than your going public in the way that you did. Eventually, things will calm down. You might consider reaching out to the family, the ones who, once they knew what had happened, defended your choice of not going to the wedding. They're the ones who sought out the truth and remained loyal to you. It is ironic how she blames this on you. Honey, if you didn't want people to find out, you shouldn't have had an affair with a married man. It is as simple as that. But people like her are just dumb and delusional. I hope you have a nice life with your girlfriend. Not the bonehead. They literally effed around and found out. Your aunt put you in a no-win situation, and that's on her, not you. Of course you're not completely okay. Your family seem like they're all boneheads. I'm so pleased you have a great supportive girlfriend and that you are seeking therapy. You will get through this, and then you hold your head high and live your best life. That's it for now. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you in the next Reddit story. Take care.